as we gather to celebrate the close of one chapter and the beginning of another, it feels only natural to reflect on the tradition of New Year's resolutions. It's an annual ritual that we all know well, writing down lofty goals, pledging to make major life changes, and convincing ourselves that this will be the year everything changes. But tonight, or today, whenever you're watching this, I want to propose something different. Instead of following the usual script, I'd like to invite you to rethink the concept of New Year's resolutions entirely. In fact, I'm actually here to suggest that you consider skipping them altogether. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive. After all, isn't the new year the perfect time to set goals and strive for self-improvement? Isn't it a moment of renewal? Isn't it a fresh start? Yes, it certainly feels that way. But the truth is, tying our aspirations to the flip of a calendar page can be misleading and sometimes even counterproductive. Let me explain why. First, let's address the timing. If you truly want to make a meaningful change in your life, why would you wait for an arbitrary date to start? Why would you delay something so important? Imagine someone saying, I really need to take care of my health, or I've been meaning to work on my relationships, and then following that up with, but I'll start in a few weeks after the new year. Does that sound like true commitment? Does that sound like they're ready to take action? Not really. It sounds more like procrastination disguised as planning. When something truly matters to you, when it's essential to your happiness or well-being, you don't wait, you act. The idea that January 1st is the only time for new beginnings is a myth. Every single day, every single moment is a new beginning if you choose to see it that way. Whether it's a Tuesday in March or a rainy afternoon in October, the opportunity to start fresh is always there. But it requires something far more substantial than a date on the calendar. It requires honesty with yourself. And that's where I want to focus for a moment. Honesty. Before you set any goal, before you decide to change anything in your life, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Are you making this resolution because you've truly decided it's time to grow? Or are you making it because that's what everyone else is doing? Are you driven by a deep personal desire? Or are you just swept up in the moment? If your motivation isn't genuine, if it isn't rooted in something real, it's unlikely to sustain you when the initial excitement fades. And that excitement will fade. Change is hard. It's uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and persistence. It's easy to declare, I'm going to eat healthier, honest with yourself about whether you're truly ready to commit to the changes you're considering. Because if you're not, it's better to wait than to dive in half-heartedly. Why? Because when you set a goal you're not fully committed to, you set yourself up for failure. And failure, while it is a valuable teacher, it can also be deeply discouraging. It can make you hesitant to try again, even when you are truly ready. If you've ever said to yourself, I failed at this before, so why bother? Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The damage done by half-hearted attempts isn't just the failure itself. It's that nagging self-doubt that lingers long afterward. But let me be clear. This video isn't about dissuading you from making positive changes. On the contrary, I want to encourage you to pursue the best version of yourself. I want you to dream big. I want you to aim high. I want you to strive for growth in every area of your life. But I want you to do that when you're ready, not when tradition or the calendar tells you it's time. Because real change, meaningful change, doesn't happen because of a date. It happens because you're willing to put in the work day after day, no matter how difficult or inconvenient it may be. If you've ever made a resolution and struggled to keep it, ask yourself why. Was it truly what you wanted, or was it something you felt pressured to do? Were you prepared for the challenges, or did you underestimate how hard it would be? These are important questions because they help you understand what it takes to succeed. And the answer, more often than not, is this. It takes unwavering commitment. It takes resilience. It takes the willingness to face setbacks and keep moving forward anyway. So tonight, I encourage you to rethink what it means to make a resolution. Don't see it as something tied to a date. See it as a decision to invest in yourself, a decision that you can make at any time. If you're ready to start that journey tonight, that's wonderful. But if you're not, if you feel you need more time, more clarity, or more determination, again, be honest with yourself. That's okay too. Don't rush yourself into a commitment you're not prepared to honor. Wait until you're ready, then go all in. As we celebrate the new year, let's remember that growth is always possible. Change is always within reach. But it doesn't depend on fireworks or midnight toasts. It depends on you, on your willingness to be honest with yourself, your readiness to put in the effort, and your resolve